Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Shanika, and today I wanted to bring you guys a video of me getting into my paycheck budget for the month of May. The last video you all saw me complete our my monthly budgeted amount. So if you are ready to see what it looks like to budget a paycheck in order to achieve our May budget goals, please stay tuned. All right, today is actually May 9th and I already started and I was like, oh, I'm not recording. So today is May 9th and today is my first paycheck that I received from my full-time job. So if you recall, last month this was the projected, not last month, but for the month of May, this was the projected income that I had from my full-time job. Then we did the breakdown of my bills, saving for a trip with my family, and also an emergency fund, and my cash envelopes. As I mentioned the last time, these are very sparing. I looked at the number and I was like, ooh, that's a little low, but we're gonna make it work. So currently what I have done is that I have already taken care of this debt. So on the next page, you're going to see that I have divvied it up. So we can just go ahead and I'm actually going to keep this to the side so that I can kind of use this as a reference. And then we'll go ahead and write down the income, which for my first check, I received $2,084.94. So that brings the grand total to $84.94. Okay, and then for this, if we flip back to our monthly breakdown, that would be this paycheck here. So how I do my budget, or I'm attempting to do it, is that between each paycheck, right, the bills that are within that pay period until the next, I can cover the bills that are there. Now for me, my month is very top heavy, meaning that most of my bills come out when I get my first paycheck. But again, like I mentioned before, I do get 4 paychecks per month until the summer starts, because I work in a school setting. So I'm going to budget all of these bills until the 23rd, which would be then my next regular pay. So what that would be BTU for $46.95, and this is an automated bill, so it's already come out of my account. Word has not come out yet, and that one is $9.99, and that is actually due on the 11th. Then my car note, which I already went ahead and paid that. I know that here we have $1,200, but because I'm going to split up over the course of these 4 payments that I'm going to get, I paid actually $500 today. So that payment's already taken care of. Then you're going to have a phone bill. That phone bill, I think, well, clearly my favorite pen is dying, so I'm gonna have to get another one. And we're back. We have the Pilot G. Can you even see this? Yeah, the Pilot G2. This is what I'm using. So yeah, let's go back. So spending. little better. All right, and for my emergency fund for this go around, I'm going to do 220, which I already transferred over to. I use a high yield savings account for my emergency fund. The goal is to have a certain goal in mind. When I hit the emergency fund goal, then I'll start working back on my saving challenges. I think I'm only doing one currently right now, and we'll probably get to that a little bit later on. Yeah, so my trip, we're gonna budget out 200, and then the extra debt, I also made a transfer for that already, and I did half of that, which was 150. So what I'm actually gonna do is we're gonna pull out our calculator. So I'm gonna put this back in here, and let's see if our calculator is nice to me today, and hopefully you all can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna bring out a calculator, and I'm gonna add up my math here. So let's see if we could do this right today. It'll be 46.95 plus 9.99, 500, 159, 289, 33 plus 9.99, 1244 plus 200, and that should equal, all right, okay, that's math. That math is mathing because like I said, I did this already. And so my bills total would be $1,227.70, which would leave us with, if we subtract that from 2084, 94, will leave us with $857.24. So how I did it, I kind of worked backwards. So there's no sinking funds currently, right? So then let's add up our cash envelopes, which is $60.75 plus 150, which brings the total to $285. And then from our 857.24 minus 285 leaves us with 572. I'm so sorry, I'm shaking you guys. 24. And then this math I can do. This one is 420. So then 575 minus 420 equals 152.24, right? And then 150 is just 150. Subtract that. I know that math would be $2.24. And like I said, I do follow a zero-based budget. However, I don't mind $2 being left in my budget. I mean, my buffer to hold in my account. Yeah. So again, like we did with our monthly budget, let's go ahead and tally up this information and see if it makes. Okay, sorry. 1227 minus, okay, 285 minus 420. Okay, I'm having a fart, guys. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Calculator, my brain. All right, sorry. We'll do it over again. 2084.94 minus 1227.7 minus 285 minus 420 minus 150. There we go. That's right. $2.24. And that would be the buffet. That'd be my buffer. So because I have this information, it's close enough for me for a zero-based budget. So what I'm going to do, I did go to the bank. I had to run to the bank today after leaving work. But I did go ahead and get some change. I also do have, I'm going to put this actually over here. I'll be able to see. And then I'm going to get my what is considered my current envelope that I use, which is I bring every day with me. I used to use cash envelopes. I did. I'm trying to get back into them now. Like I mentioned before, I'm moving back home and trying to get my finances together. However, I ordered this actual wallet itself. I think it's a A6, A7, A5. I don't know. It's small. And the inserts, the envelopes inside actually was inspired by my favorite YouTube person ever in the world. Her name is Celissa from Beautifully Me and You, and she had a template. She actually was selling these, and then she had a template on her Etsy. I'm sorry, she sells them on her Etsy page, but she was so gracious and put out a tutorial on actually how to make these little cards. Now granted, these were my test errors. So I had 3 categories, like I mentioned, which were my, well, says me, it's my nickname. I love elephants. So this is going to be what's housing my spending for this month. I have gas. I don't like to pay for gas. And then my groceries. And then she also had a coin purse in the back. So she had a template on her channel that showed you how to actually make these cash envelopes. Hers came out a lot better than mine. However, I had them for a while. I think I've been attempting to budget for the past 3 years. However, she inspired me. I know that it worked when I was following the system. So I'm going to move from this wallet. Anyways, this is gonna house my cash that I did get from the bank. So I'm gonna put that here. And then I do have some ones. Yeah. Okay, so have lots of ones. These are going to be used for something a little bit later. We'll talk about that. But yeah, so going to be where the cash goes. Can you all see it? Okay, all right. Actually, let me just take this out of the way. And then I'm gonna have this. And then I'm gonna bring out our cash, which should be, don't let me do the math because it might be wrong. The bank person gave me a whole bunch of, here we have it. These are my cash. So let's see, a total count up should be, I want to say, let's get a calculator. So we should have in cash, let's see, we should have essentially, this money right here, so hopefully you guys can see, we should have 420 plus 285. So it should be a total of $705 because that is including my cash envelopes and then my emergency fund. I'm sorry, should not include my emergency fund because I already transferred that, right? That's what we said. Yeah, don't know why that says that. So minus 220, it should be 485, right? So 485 would be my 285 plus my trip money because my emergency fund, like I mentioned, I am keeping in my actual account. So what we have to cash stuff today would be 485. So let's count that up and see if that is indeed correct. So I have, can't do math, 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, that's 120, 220, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 3, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 30. I can't do math. Okay, we're not doing this. Scratch all of that. We're gonna do it the old school way because I can't count clearly. I said 485. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 40, 10. Don't know how that got there. Okay. 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 40, 14. Guys.
How about this? This is calculator. As beautifully me and you, Celissa calls it. We need 45 next. 4, 5, minus 5. And you have 480 left. 1, 2, minus 200, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,
70, 80, 90, 100. Minus 100. This should be $100. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It should be $180. 10. 120, 140, 45, 150, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. Okay. Minus 180. Y'all. So, what we're going to do first is my gas. Don't need gas right now, so I should not be filling up. So gas is supposed to, see, this is another reason why it gives me some issues. Let's see if we can use my Pusheen as like a backup. There you go. And it's like blurry and not focusing for whatever reason. Anyways, so gas is supposed to get $60. So we're going to do 20, 40, 50, 60. So we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 20, 40, 50, 60, $60 in gas. And that should last me for the next 2 weeks. I already have a full tank. Well, not a full tank, but enough. And then groceries, I'm going to do 75. So that would be 6, 70, and a 5. So that would be 2, 4, 6, 7, 5, 75 towards my groceries. And then we have 150 for spending, which we're gonna call Nika. I don't think the Pusheen is helping, so that's 2, 4. I'm gonna have a lot of bills, huh? I'm gonna have a lot of ones is what's gonna happen. It should be all of this, but let's see. So there's going to be 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and then 110, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and then this should be 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. They gave me a lot of bills. Yeah, for, if you remember my emergency, I'm sorry for the bangles making noise, for my, not emergency fund, for my trip. So, as I mentioned before, I do have, I started a sinking fund envelope, which, essentially houses where I keep the money that I'm saving that's not a part of my emergency fund, but I also wanted to focus more so on having an emergency fund just in case, in the event of anything happens, that I do have that aside. So when I finish that number, and I'll probably share that another time as far as like what my goal is, I'll start focusing more so on my sinking funds. But for right now, a sinking fund that I have is for my trip at the end of this month of $600 to take with me with my family. So I do not have an envelope created as of yet. So this is what I was referring to. So this is also the 2025 Fridays. It is a challenge that I have attempted to do so far. I've done okay, but what I'm going to do is the money that I get from my side income job, I'm going to use it to fund my savings challenges. I have a couple more. As you can see, I already started it. There are some here that I also got, majority of these from, well, actually all of them, from Beautifully Me and You from Celissa's Etsy shop. But for right now, I'm just going to use one of these envelopes to house my trip money. And I'm going to leave it back here. So this is 200 out of the 6 that needs to be in here. And I think what I will do is keep a tracker of it, so we know that the trip and the amount is inputted as add 200, and today is the 9th. So that way This would be trip fund. So this I know will be for this trip coming up. So we're almost there. So that's that. We're gonna put this out to the side. So remember those ones I took out of my the bracelet, my ones that I took out of my wallet. Actually, let's see how much this is. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoa, 6, 7, 8. $8 in a while. If I have ones, I have been trying to save them. That I have kept up with when it comes to budgeting, and I keep them in this pouch. So these ones I'm going to continue to save. I don't know what I'm going to do with the ones. I know the last time I did it, I really had about $260 by 6 months. I don't know if I'm at $260 because I got a late start. But yeah, these are going to go in here along with the rest of my ones. It looks like a lot, but you know, I don't know. We'll probably count it up towards the end of the year, or halfway. We can see like how much we have made. We have saved, not made. Yeah. So yeah, I think that is it for today's paycheck budget, and we got to see some cash stuffing. I'm really excited about doing this because it's keeping me accountable, that I have to come and bring my paychecks, this journey, you know, that it doesn't have to be so mundane, and it doesn't have to feel that, you know, starting over is such a bad thing. But I'm excited for this journey. If you do want to see more videos, if you have any recommendations, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Also, please like, comment, subscribe. You can share a video if this is inspiring to you or may inspire someone who you know may be experiencing the same journey, you know, moving back home and trying to get their finances together and navigating life in their 30s. I hope you guys take care. Bye.